Welcome to the return of an old review series. One I haven't done in almost 3.5 years. This is the return of the Super Sentai reviews. This I'm reviewing the second ever Super Sentai. Before I continue with that, in case you're wondering why I have not done any one of these in about 3.5 years, well, because I've been doing anime last for 3.5 years, and I have had some interest to do Sentai, but I've been so busy with anime. But after rewatching the 35th anniversary film, I realized though I should probably get back to watching Super Sentai before it gets a lot more, because at the time when I left off in late 2016, there was about 41 released at the time. And since at the time I had to watch only 11 of them, 11 Super Sentai, I had watched Gingamon, Mega Ranger, which is basically made into in space, Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, pretty much all the ones that are adapted into Power Rangers. Basically, here's the ones basically in order. And this is not one I reviewed, basically ones I have done. Zoo Ranger, Die Ranger, O Ranger, Car Ranger, Mega Ranger, Gingamon, which was my first one I reviewed, and the first one I watched. Go-Go 5, Time Ranger, Gal Ranger, Go Sager, and Go Kaiger. Yep, those are the 11 I've done so far. This one is called J.A.K.Q. Shock Troop. That was called Deca Ranger. Yeah, it's the only one that doesn't have Ranger in the title, surprisingly. Excuse me. It is the second ever Super Sentai released. Oh yeah, and in case you're wondering, was this adapting to Power Rangers? No, it never was. Why? Because it was released in 1979. The Power Rangers started back in 1993 when they adapted Zoo Ranger into Power Rangers. Plus, I think Helmets of Bond has never seen this one. And this one's quite different when you think of Super Sentai. What do you think of Super Sentai? 5 Rangers with various colors like red, blue, black, or occasionally green, pink, yellow, going a giant robot, fight a giant monster. Usually a lot of the time the villains can be aliens or creatures from another dimension. That's typically how it is when it comes to Super Sentai. This one doesn't have that formula that much. It does have people in suits, though how the transformation sequence is quite different. It's not some device they're given. They basically have to hop into a chamber. Now initially this one has 4 Rangers. And they're all basically based upon playing cards. You have Spade Ace, the leader of the team. Diamond Jack, the muscle man, the last swordsman of the team. Heart Queen, who is the sole female member of the team, because a lot of the Super Sentai, a lot of them only had one female ranger. They occasionally would have some female rangers, but usually a lot of the time just one. And there's finally the Clover King. Yep. Now, these guys basically, before they became rangers, the red one was an Olympic athlete who excelled at things like swimming, archery, anything Olympic based. They have all outdoor stuff. The pink ranger was a police officer, more specifically a detective who had just took down a big, humongous drug ring and was celebrating her father's retirement after being in the police force for 25 years. The blue ranger, believe it or not, what he did before he was a ranger, he used to be a boxer. Yeah, he used to be a boxer who left the boxing scene because he refused to fix fights, and because of that, he was framed for murder. Yep. As for the Black Ranger, or excuse me, the Clover King, the Green Ranger, he was, I kid you not, he actually died via, get this, oxygen deprivation, which this can actually happen. Though how they explain it in the series is kind of like, really? And they don't connect it to the villain of the series, Crime. Yeah, get this. Crime is just simply an organization run by a human named the Boss Iron Claw, who is a guy with broccoli-shaped hair and a silver poncho. Also, this I thought was really weird, and I'm surprised no one's ever pointing this out, though. His beard moves. Yeah, at first his beard pretty much looked like it covered almost his entire face, and then slowly they kind of reveal his face where his beard is simply like a chin strap now. Yeah, I have no idea why. Yeah, and by the way, he's actually the first character you see on screen in this series. Yep, where he launches the flying vehicles known as the Devil Sharks, though the Rangers haven't really encountered them yet. So I was like, okay, I guess that the guy who became the leader, basically the mentor of the team, Joker, he's like, okay, I'm going to form my own team, composed of cyborgs. You are thinking, what? You transform your people into cyborgs. And here's the thing. When the Red Rangers offer this, he initially declines until he saves the woman who becomes the Queen Heart. The Blue Ranger is offered and reluctantly accepts. The Pink Ranger, when she's offered cybernization, she actually accepts without question. The Clover King had no say in the matter because he was dead. And so they revived him. And here's something I did not like about this. There is no scene of them basically reacting to their new cybernetic bodies, and the Clover, and basically there's no proper introductions to themselves. Yeah, I'm like, really? You don't really do that? I thought it was kind of weird. Also, the series is very heavily inspired by police dramas. Oh yeah, and because it's the 70s, let's everybody wear 70s clothes, because that's the clothes they wore back then. Yeah. And apparently J.A.K.Q, his thing, a lot of the time in Super Sentai, a lot of the time, there are about two different ways, basically, that a Super Sentai team can exist. Actually, three different ways. One, they're something associated with the military. Two, a government organization. Or three, a private company is funding them. Yeah, that's how it is a lot of the time. Or they're just basically descended from great warriors. Yeah, that's generally how it is a lot of the time. Either it's the government, military, or some business basically financing this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we do get a chance to delve a little bit into some of the Rangers' lives. Of the episodes I watched, the only ones we do get a chance to delve into the personal life is Clover King and Queen. These two are the only ones you do get a chance to see their backstories. At least what they basically about their friends who pop up in the series. Yeah, and also, with the exception of the first episode, mostly each episode has crime going something associated with the character of the series. The only one who did the most was actually Queen Heart. For her, it happened 3 times. 2 of whom involved all 3 involved close friends of hers. The first one basically involved them going after the brother of one of her closest friends who runs a dojo. And the Rangers basically have to go and stop them. Of course, they found out the brother is actually a crime commando, though he was forced to become this after winning a championship. And of course, they do raid the island with their aerial fortress. Yeah, there is no giant robot they hop into. It's simply put a jet they pilot. Which, by the way, Go Ranger did the same thing. Though I've only watched the first 4 episodes of that particular season, I have not watched the whole thing because it is really long. You know how long Go Ranger is? It's 80 episodes. J.A.K.Q is 35. Yep. The leader of the team is Joker. He is also the director of the ISS. Yeah, it's a government agency that basically deals with crime. And here's kind of the thing. Because of a government agency, the local law enforcement have no problem with J.A.K.Q at all. Nope. Not at all. Now, in the case of the Clover King's backstory, they do reveal in one episode involving when crime shoots on a plane, they pretty much reveal that apparently Clover King's family, mostly his parents, the sister, were killed in a plane crash. They say it was engine problems, but they say it was 5 years before the start of this particular season. As for if crime was involved with it was never investigated. Not really, no. Maybe because they want to keep it low radar. So, yeah. They do show the Cybernation in the series, and they introduce everybody, and they got all the code names, and of course the boss person of a Joker. And what name comes from is basically their initials, like Jack, Ace, Queen, and King. That's where the word Jack comes from. It's just basically shortened version of their names. Quite interesting. So, their suits are simply put this. Like, they have small capes, and they have mix of like white and whatever color they are, And plus, their visors are quite strange. Like, and here's the thing, Go Ranger did the same thing as well with theirs. They have like little holes in the front of them, probably so the suit actors can breathe. But okay, I get the fact they can probably breathe wearing those things. Fine. How the heck can these people even freaking see wearing these things? I mean, imagine looking through tiny holes. Yeah. And the way they transform is all four of these people hop in a strengthening tube, and that's how they just basically just transform. Oh, and how to defeat the bad guy? Do they use some magic weapon that they just basically have? No, they use a covert, basically having the four rangers basically surrounded in a circle, bop top of their heads against the person, run around, kick the person in the air, and then they just do the little pose with a fist, and the people explode. There was one they couldn't do it to that one because this one atomic bomb, so they shot a rocket to this monster, and then sent him off to space. Yeah, Crime's basically goal: turn stuff into crime-ridden cities. That's pretty much their goal, and a lot of the time they're seen committing crimes like bank robberies, committing murders. Yeah, and their grunts basically have these weird like laughing sounds, and they have frickin' machine guns. From the look of them, it looks like machine guns used by the Japanese military, from what I can tell. The crime probably stole them. Yes. As for, and it's never explained in these episodes. Now, crime is based at a place called Crime Fortress Island. It's somewhere in the Pacific. They haven't identified where yet because they haven't got there yet. And basically, a lot of the time, Ranger is not fighting Boss Claw. They don't know he exists. They basically find crime bosses. At first, basically, you have crime bosses. You actually have, like, the first couple of them actually for 2 episodes. But starting episode 5, up until 10, basically, I got up to, it's like one boss per episode, and they're pretty much killed off really easily. A lot of these people are basically, like very wealthy individuals who just want to finance crime. Yeah. Now, how does it affect Ace? Well, that's where the atomic bomb monster comes in. Yeah, when a student of his basically decided was coerced to steal his medical records. And her father, believe it or not, his techniques were basically used by Joker to turn the four heroes into cyborgs. Yeah, it's completely unknown, like, how much of their... From what I can tell, mostly it's I would say their arms are cybernized and part of their heads. As for, aside from their skin, if they have anything left that's organic inside their bodies, I would say blood. But this whole cybernization thing, really, in my opinion, is somewhat completely necessary. I mean, why would you turn 4 good people into frickin' cyborgs? Yeah, and the fact they act like frickin' robots half the time. And plus, these things actually have emotion. These things can also bleed. Yeah, in episode 7, believe it or not, this one was actually adapted into a movie. Yep. The plot of this one is this. J.A.K.X, a explosive device that crime wants used to rob a bank full of billions of yen worth of gold and jewels, and is stolen from a testing site, which of course Diamond Jack basically is protecting, and he of course rescues the device. Of course, they also took time to kidnap a scientist, though he's freed by the J.A.K. Rangers, and of course, well, sees his son, who apparently loves taking pictures of awesome looking cars. Yeah, these are nice looking cars pop up in this episode. Yeah. In the case of the other 2, well, the second one mostly is just that, well, they really want to eliminate Jack, so they convince a dressmaker of Karen, that's the Pink Ranger's real name, to put an explosive device in it on her dress, though inadvertently kills the dressmaker's daughter, and then the woman herself is later killed by crime. And here's kind of the thing. They're avenged, but nothing much done with it. Yeah, also, as for the female spy, she's killed by Jack, and there is some reaction from Spade Ace, basically, about her death, and it's implied she may have had feelings for him, but it was never really explored. As for her father, as far as I can tell, they had no reaction for him when he see his own daughter murdered right in front of him. Yeah, they had another episode which involved the Clover King protecting a beautiful woman from crime. And here's the thing: the reason why they wanted her, because she's the heir to a $1 billion fortune worth of artwork. Yeah, and there's a lawyer. Her lawyer, the lawyer's wife is no friend of hers, and yeah, at one point she's coerced to work for crime, and then she kind of acts like she enjoys it, and then she's later killed by crime's forces along with the crime boss. And here's something quite strange though. This I think this woman basically look at this lawyer's wife as faces her. There is no reaction from her at all that she's dead. Nope, no reaction. Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. Yeah, and they have the whole laser one. Yeah, they had that one where Clover King basically was acting completely irrational. By the way, is there any consequences for his rash actions by the end of the episode that he doesn't? Nope, it's swept under the rug and completely forgotten about. Yeah, and a lot of these episodes feel very standalone. Yeah, they're all very much standalone episodes. Yep, and pretty much the first set of monsters they fight called the Monster Machines. And there's like one per episode. And like other Sentai I've watched where they actually have monsters for more than one episode. This one, yeah, one episode, they're done. And how the J.A.K. basically did their introduction to the monsters, they threw cards at them, usually in like a strange rectangular pattern. They had one was a woman, which apparently I think it was Clover King was smitten with her. It's if I beat you, if I win this hand, I get to go on a date with her. And the guy had no problem with it. Of course, the guy was the crime boss. Yeah, he was also portraying Iron Cloud, but not portraying crime per se, just portraying Iron Claw himself. Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else. Oh yeah, they have some cool looking vehicles in here, and they also act all the personal vehicles. And yeah, that's all I can say about J.A.K. It's really good so far, anyways. Episode 18 will cover the next 10 episodes. This particular one, yeah, I'm doing something a little different with Super Sentai. Instead of talking about the whole thing, just talk about 10 episodes. And this will take probably about 6 videos to cover because I'm also going to cover the crossover film with Go Ranger. Okay, see you next video. Bye.